Hello there, my mate Vince here and welcome to another Advent Possible repair. Today we're going to be looking at this old Smith's electric clock and also light combo. So I presume instead of the alarm going off, it lights up this instead, so it should be quite interesting. It's actually fed, it's a 240 volt clock, meaning that it's keeping its time from the mains electricity, the 50 hertz. So I'm hoping the inside is going to be quite interesting. There should be a motor in here. It was listed as being from the 60s or 70s. Slight concern I've got is, could it be possible radium on the hands here? I mean, it could be, maybe. But this is plastic and it's loose anyway. So I suppose if the gases had built up, they're going to be out by now anyway. But yeah, it could still be radium. As I say in all my videos, never copy what you see. I could be doing something here completely unsafe. So I am going to take off the back of it and see why it's not working. I've had it plugged in for about 20 minutes and this hand hasn't moved here. Whether I push that in or out, which I presume is for the alarm, the light, it doesn't move either. As well as that, I'm just going to unplug it because I don't feel overly safe messing with this. When I do this here, it's just really stiff. So it's nice there, and now it's gone rock hard. Yeah, it's got really, really stiff. So maybe the mechanism's gummed up. I think for this one here, it's not really going to be a restoration at all. I just want to see how it works on the inside and if it's possible to get some life out of it. If we can get it to light up when the alarm goes off, even better. Clearly I have to be very, very careful working on this because it's going to be mains going into it. Also, how safe is it going to be? I'm not too sure. Smith's was a massive name years ago. In fact, my mum worked in one of their factories when she came over from Ireland when she was about 17. So yeah, but I don't know what she did. So that's the lead going off to this part here. Now I will say this at the very beginning of the video. If you are really into your watches, a watchmaker, clockmaker, and you can't control your emotions, then stop watching now. Because I've had it with trying to fix watches and stuff, and holier than thou people in the comments section just basically saying how you shouldn't be fixing stuff. Go down your local tip. You're going to probably find loads of these dumped every single day of the week. People don't want them anymore. I'm not saying that's good, but that's the way it is. So if I break this one or do something wrong, it really isn't that big a deal. Right now, obviously I am unplugged. First things first. Shall we check the fuse? Because maybe that hasn't been checked. I couldn't find any videos on this particular one. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of videos on electric clocks. 3-amp fuse, nice and old. Look at that. Look at the way things were made years ago. Isn't that lovely? How nice is that, the way that they're done there? Fuse is okay. So we should definitely at least have 240 volts going into this clock. Now I've never worked on one of these clocks before, haven't seen the inside of them. Hence the reason what I said about if you're a watchmaker or a clockmaker. Let's undo these ones here. Also we have this here which looks like this may be where an original lead went in. So I don't quite know, I don't know what's going on there. But then again, we have exposed copper on the inside. Do not know what that is about. Don't know what that is about at all. You will have lots of I don't knows, and I'm not sure what that's about in this video. If you have knowledge of electric clocks, or if you think you've worked things out in this video, you can always add them down to the comment section below, because not only will you help me out, but you'll also help out other people viewing. For example, what on earth is that little thing on the side? Some of you will know, and if you don't know now, you might know later on when I actually get this apart, and then you can put that down in the comment section. So everybody, if you're watching this and you want more info, you'll probably learn more from the actual comment section, as you do in most of my videos, than the actual video itself. Now to get into this, it's not that easy. There's 3 screws at the back. I thought maybe the whole inside would come out, but well, it does, but I still can't get access to it because I need to take off the lens, and I also need to take off the hands as well. That will then free up the movement so I can actually work on it. Taking the lens off is easy enough. It is just clipped in, very discoloured. The dial itself looks quite nice and bright underneath. But when it comes to the hands, they're a bit of a nightmare to take off. If they are radium, I've been well and truly exposed to them now. I thought at the beginning I might be able to just get access to the back, but that is not the case. Well, I can, but I need access to the front of the mechanism as well, so the hands have to come off. They're push fit on, but they're a lot harder to take off than normal watch hands, but I'm using my watch tools to try to work on a clock. Everything's a little bit too small, but I try to minimize damage to the dial by putting a bit of paper around it and then just levering it off. Eventually I manage to take off the minute hand, then the hour hand, then the dial comes off nice and easy, and I do finally have access to the mechanism. So let's have a look at the mechanism and see if we can work out what's what, and more importantly, why it's not working. Right, okay. Now I did notice there was a little hole in the dial, so I wonder, let's mess with this. Does that move that round there? No. So what is this? What is this about, I wonder? It all looks very rusty. Maybe that's why it's kind of seized up. And we have this down. This must be to set the alarm at the bottom here, surely. So this thing here is going up. This is something to do with mains. What's that about? Oh, no, I was going to say, is this to tune it, but it's not. Oh, maybe it still does need tuning. Would the motor need? No, because it's getting its timing from the mains. So what would you need this for? I do not know what that is. Made in Italy. There you go, so you can see the markings on it. 2/250 AC. Maybe there should be something else that goes in that allows you to turn. But I didn't think you had to tune these. I was just wondering if the windings of the motor are slightly different or something, but I don't think that's the case. Right, so mains coming in. Let's see roughly what's going on. So this is the main one coming in here. That goes into here. So one of them goes straight down into here, and then the other one goes to this and also up to here. Yeah. Then from there we go to the motor, and then the red one here goes into this. So 1 second, hold on. Right, so this main one here, this baggy one, is the mains coming in from the plug, and as you can see it goes up to here, then to here, and then the red one, the other side of the motor, because I presume that is the motor, goes into that wire nut here, which goes down into, hold on, the main one again. So why is that not working? So we should have 240 volts going into that motor, should we not? We should do, shouldn't we? Because that's the same as this just being connected directly to the motor. Interesting. I think the motor might be gone. Right, let's zoom out a little bit and see if we have continuity. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's break that there because it's already melted and broken anyway. There we go. Now we've got more room to work. Let's see if we have any resistance reading on the coil of the motor. Maybe the motor's gone. So we're here and here. Yeah, we have 5,800 ohms. So that motor should be working. So let's now go between the plug. So this is the live. Is it coming up here? Yeah, that's coming up there. And the neutral will be going through the motor. Yeah, 2000s. So that's going to be coming up here. So why on earth have we not got that motor spinning? Is it just that it's so gummed up that it can't spin properly? So I've got my eye loop in trying to work out what's what, hence the reason you've got Mr. Porcupine Head taking up the whole view. Right, okay. Yeah, it can't be fixed. It's not that it's faulty, it's just completely worn out, so clearly this has had a lot of use. Right, let's zoom in and I'll try to show you what I've seen. So we know this is the motor here, and we have a lovely massive big worm wheel. See this brass wheel here coming right the way through. You can see it nicely there, yeah? So that's the worm wheel there. So I think I would probably be able to get the motor working. In fact, it might be working now. It might be super silent. But now, have a look at this gear here, yeah? This gear is completely worn and broken. In fact, it's worn the same sort of shape as the worm wheel, meaning that the teeth are going down towards this bit here. So if I shine that in there, that gear there has gone. Yeah, look at the teeth. And you can see that there's a lot of wear and breakages around there. And that's kind of turning independently of, well, not really, but it's kind of moving independently off the worm wheel. I think it might have come out of its pivot. But anyway, from there, this worm wheel then has a worm wheel on that side. Can you see behind the big gear? Which then turned this white gear here, which goes all the way down, and it turns, it's acting as another worm wheel to turn that gear deep down in here, there, yeah, that one down in there, which is attached to the main clock at the front. So what's happening is, I think if we plug it in, and we will do, I think that motor is going to be turning. But even if it is, it can't turn anything else because of that gear's all broken. You can see it there. I mean, maybe if it was to be pushed along a little bit, you might get a little bit of life out of it. If you were to push it along there, I mean, it's come out at the moment. Let me get it back in its home. Yeah, so even if I was to clean it all up, I don't think that's going to make any difference at all. It's just worn. So what I am going to do is I'm going to plug this in. I want to see that motor should be turning all the time. So let's do it so the camera can see it and so I can see it. I'll see if it's doing, well, the motor should be connected now. Let's plug it in. It must be just incredibly quiet. No, that's not turning. Yeah, so the motor's not turning anyway. Okay, let's unplug it. So that's strange. I've just put 240 volts into this. I've plugged it in and that motor's not turning. I think that gear is worn, but maybe when it was new, it was also at a bit of a 45 degree to make it mesh with the worm gear nicely. It's incredibly dirty, and to me it looks like quite a few of the teeth are chipped. But maybe the actual main fault with this is the fact that the motor's not turning, because with 240 volts going across it, it should be turning. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to get the motor away from the casing, because maybe it's not turning because the gears themselves are kind of gummed up. So if we take the motor out, then if it's not attached to anything, it should be turning nicely. So that's what we're doing now. We're just taking the motor out so I can work on the motor on its own. There. So it's this thing here, which is this one. Get a good look at it now. Can you see there? You can see it's worn, can't you? And also this is where most of the dirt is as well. Yeah, these ones here. Anyway, let's concentrate on the motor for a bit. Also, we kind of need to know how the... I just want to quickly see how the light's supposed to go off. It must be connected to this solenoid in some way. The light comes up on the short one and goes back down. So we've always got one live on here. And then... it comes up to this and into here. I think when this goes off, it must turn that on. Right now, does this just need freeing up? Should we plug it in now and see if it's working now that I've given it a spin? Let's plug it in now and see what it's doing. Keep my hands well clear of everything. Let's see if that does a little kick. No. Motor is not working. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's got like a little mainspring on. So hold on. This will turn independently of this back one. Look, can you see? For a short amount of time to kickstart it, because it says here self-starting. Look. Can you see here? Self-starting. So you must need to kind of wind it up a tiny bit in order to you know, so when it's connected, it then goes. So maybe when you adjust the time at the back, it just winds this up ever so slightly to get it to go. I'm going to go on the wires and see if we have anything, because we should have a tiny little bit of voltage, shouldn't we? Millivolts or something when we turn that. Yeah, we do. That should be working. I don't understand why that's not working. There, you can see the mainspring coming out now. Look. Can you see it here? Well, we're understanding it a bit more. At least we know what the disc is for now. That's the self-starting part of it. But I would have liked to have seen that motor actually work. So if we go across the plug, we can see the motor. So why, unless I'm reading something else, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's actually disconnect the motor. And then we know 100%. Because I might be reading something else. No, I'm reading the motor. Strange. There's no point in measuring for 240 volts. I've got continuity. We're going to have 240 volts there. See, I think maybe if we were to, I think it might be the self-starter thing which is not working. I wonder if I was to, because these are insulated, if I was to put it on and just turn it like that, whether it would start going off. I think I'm going to give that a go. There. Okay, so it's not going now. Nope. No, right. Okay, I'm just going to unsolder the motor because it's hard working on it because the wires are so short and I have to keep lifting up the whole movement each time. I want to look at it real closely from my eye loop to see if I can work out how it works, so I don't know how an AC motor works, and also if I can find anything that's wrong with it. Okay, right now that kind of balance spring has come off the self-starting thing. So it does seem to be turning a bit easier now. So I'm just going to solder it back in just to see if we can now kickstart it. I'm just thinking, if we have the winding intact, I don't quite understand why it's not even trying. I can understand if there was wear, but you think it would still kind of go a bit or be noisy. So I'm a bit confused why it's not working at all. Now let's see if I plug it in, again use my insulated pliers and just give it a turn whether it's going to start now working. So there's nothing happening now. Oh well, I have to give up. I can't take this away. Oh, did you see that? Hold on, did that give a tiny little move? I heard it make a little noise. I heard a vibrate. Sure I did, I don't think I imagined it. There you go, did you see that there? I heard it made a little noise. I don't care about the clock working, I just want this motor to turn. I can feel it vibrating through my tweezers, through my pliers. I can feel it vibrating. Do you know, you have a better view. It's like this. Come on, turn. I wonder what speed it turns at. I can hear it. Every now and then you'll see it will do like 1/16 of a turn. Right, let's unplug it. It's not getting any better. I thought it might have freed up by now. But I can definitely feel it vibrate every now and then. So maybe it has just worn completely. See, I don't know how these haven't got brushes on the inside, have they? No, it's just magnets, isn't it? Not 100% sure how an AC motor works, but I think it's just going to be magnets. And as far as I know, they shouldn't lose their magnetism. Magnets don't wear out, do they? Put it on its side just in case. Listen. I don't even know what way it should be spinning though. There we go. Yes. Well done, Vince. He did it. This probably hasn't worked in 40 years. Look at that. So we know it's going clockwise when you look at it from the top. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely to see. That is nice to see. I wonder, is it quite strong? No, no. Right, let's kill power. So they definitely need starting, and that's what that's for. But right now, I've broken it from here. It looks like it needs to be kind of soldered or brazed or something back on. Right, okay. Let's see now how easy it is to start now. Also, let's do it here and see if it starts. So we need to go clockwise. No. Let's unplug it. So maybe it's only happy when it is horizontal. Plug it in again. No, it's not happy now, horizontal or vertical, but at least we got it working for a short amount of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some deoxit fader and I'm going to spray it in there. It's a cleaner in aerosol so it can get right in there. Obviously I'm doing this when it's unplugged and I'm just going to work it around a few times. Let's pick up the video now after I've sprayed it to see if it's made it better or worse. Right, let's see what it's going to do now. Plug it in again. Make sure everything is well clear. We're in. Oh, look at that. It's wanting to go. Did you see that? It wanted to go on its own. Oh, wow. Maybe there is some contact. I need to do some research into AC motors. Maybe there are contacts on the inside. I just thought they might be some magnetic thing with like a magnetic core that just works. But maybe there are some sort of brushes. Listen to that. Right, let's see now, is it going to work when it's up in this position? I know normally it's going to be in that position. I just want to see how strong it is. There you go. Brilliant. Now I'm going to unplug it. I want to see would it start because I don't want to get involved with that spring there. This is obviously junk now. It just would be lovely to see if it could keep a little bit of time just purely for the video. I'm going to plug it in now. That's interesting. It started itself, but it hasn't got any of the resistance of all the cogs and everything everywhere. So I think in this instance, the reason it failed is because of the motor. It's just that other worm wheel cog type thing in here looks completely worn. That's brilliant. Right, now I'm just going to give it a clean up. See if it still works. Right, I just want to clean up here. And now I just want to see if it will work this way round. Plugging it in now. No, it's not working now. Let me unplug it and plug it in again, see if that will kickstart it. No. So it might not be happy this way. There we go. So I'm going to have no way of kickstarting it when it's in. Unless I try to fix that balance wheel thing. So that's exactly what I do. I fix the balance wheel. I have to take a little collar off the very end of this motor. And then the whole gear slides off. It looks really nicely made. And then with the disc, I reform the spring. It doesn't look anything like it did to begin with, but I don't need it to look pretty. I just need it to be able to hold on to a bit of power enough to turn this motor, which will be the self-starting. Real clever little idea. And then I need to put it back together. So I managed to get the spring into position okay. Let me show you that now. Right, okay, I've done my own Vincy bodgy spring here. So clearly it doesn't look as nice as before, but I'm thinking that when you go to wind it, look, it is gonna, I'm holding the back here to mimic the motor not moving. And it does, that might be enough to kickstart it. So I'm gonna put this end bit back on. I think there was also a little nylon washer originally. Oh well. Anyway, this isn't, you can see that this is, this clock's had it. I just want to see if any of the cogs can move. Oh no, I've now broken the back of the motor. Oh, Vince, what have I done? That's the magnetic bit as well. Oh well, it's gone.
Ha ha.
It's gone.
So let's take this apart and see if we can work out what it was doing. Well, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even 2% sure. But what I'm wondering is this is going to be magnetic here, I think. In fact, let me bring that over to the fridge. Yep, that's sticking like a fridge magnet, but just a weak one. I think that this was magnetic here, and it was on here, and this is a stationary magnet here. And I think when power's applied, it's magnetizing this stationary one, which is then causing this to spin around it. I think that's how it's worked. Okay, well, you know what? Not everything can be a fix. Yes, I've messed that up there, which is a shame. So when I was putting power on that there, it cracked the magnet back. I didn't even realize that was a magnet. I thought that was just kind of some Bakelite plastic. So you live and learn. I still think the video was interesting. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I think people are going to be upset. I'm going to put some bonus thing at the end of this video for you, okay? So basically, yeah, the clock wasn't fixable. It's done its job. It's worked, I think, for many, 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 many years, and it's physically just worn out. But I think the motor itself was to blame. But again, it could be, you see that little bit of play? I'm not saying that was there to begin with, but that bit of play might have been enough to kind of stop it from working, like jam it into position. We got it working, but would it be reliable? I doubt it, if it is to do with wear. So yeah, there we have it. And it was lovely seeing the self-starting thing. So I think when you do the clock at the back, when you're getting your time right, because when you buy a clock, you're going to have to change the time 99.9% of the time, unless the very time you take it out is perfect time. So in doing that, I think that does this to the spring, you see, like that. And then look, when it's then plugged in ready to go, yeah, it does that. And that's enough to kickstart it. Really clever, really, really clever. I enjoyed that one, even though it wasn't a fix, because it was lovely seeing the inside of it. And I think the light part of it here just goes off along with this solenoid here. Massive apologies, guys. I think if this was in the hands of an expert, or even somebody that knew their way around electric clocks, I think it would have been fixable. I'm just not sure with the wear on the inside how reliable it would have been. Maybe it'd be one of those things that would work for a few hours, then stop, jam up again, and then you've got to wiggle around to get working again. Personally, I believe that it's had its life, but I know you would have liked to have seen it working. At least I got to show you a slightly working electric motor. So if you could let me know in the comment section what that thing was, the Italian thing that was sticking out the edge of the clock. I mean, I thought it was where the wires were maybe fed through, but I don't believe they were. So I haven't got a clue what that is. So if you could let me know about that, that would be great. And I'm going to put on another fix for you now. If you feel the need to be really nasty in the comment section, ask yourself, if you try to fix hundreds of different items, loads of different things, are you going to be successful on all 100 of them? And if the answer is yes, then feel free to be an a-hole down in the comments. But if the answer is no, possibly not, welcome to my world. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that, because I know there will be a few people that inevitably will be nasty in the comment section. Let me show you some other fix that might be more enjoyable to watch than seeing somebody break an AC motor that was working. Oh, it hurts.
Hello there, my mate Vince, back again on another Advent Day fix, and today's episode we're going to be looking at this Frigidaire handheld clothes steamer, and basically it says it does not steam. It turns on and basically it heats up after a minute or so. I can feel this is warm because I've already had it on, and there's different modes like eco mode, so it produces a little bit less steam. I've got water in the bottom here, but yet when I do this, it's not steaming. So there's two things you can do. You can press it into steam, or you can press it in and slide it down, which feels quite nice, and that locks it into position so it's steaming all the time. So why is it not working? I'm thinking it might be just a button problem, because it's definitely getting warm. So we've got heat here, unless there's a little pump. I don't know what's going to pump. Surely it must pump up from here. So it should be interesting to see the inside of it and see if we can get it working or not. Where this would be useful is my dad's recently bought some new curtains, and they're all creased because he didn't iron them before putting them up, and it's a bit of a palaver to take them down once they're up. So this would be useful because you could just go up and down it, and I presume it would help to get rid of the creases in the curtains. So let's take it over to the mat and see if we can fix it.
It's still very warm, so I've got to be careful. This comes off like a bayonet fitting. There you go. So we have 2 little screws here. I can't see any other screws anywhere. Well, we'll start here, but yeah, I think it's going to be clipped annoyingly. Hope it's not glued. Okay, that's nice. We've got a little pipe with a spring in it to stop it getting kinked, I think. Right, I can see one of those kind of thermal safety cutout things that you get on heaters, and it was also on the smoke machine, and also my water dispenser heater thing that I looked at. How do we get in here? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right, okay. I presume it is going to be clipped then. Maybe when this comes off, it will uncover screws. Excellent. Brilliant. Right, okay. So I can see a micro switch here. Maybe that micro switch is not working. And I can see a load of crimps here. So this is all crimped together. There's a little circuit board down here. And a relay. You can see a nice big relay. Obviously I'm unplugged. Problem is that's got a real big kink on it there, isn't it? That pipe. I mean, I didn't pull it from there. But I can't even hear it attempting to turn on. But that doesn't look ideal. I think we need to pull that down a bit. Ah, here we go. Do you see what's wrong? So basically we have the pump here, yeah? And we have 2 connections on the pump. Can you see what's happened? This connector here is on, yeah? This one is not. So I think it wasn't clicked. These should click into place because can you see they've got that little tab just here to release them. You see that bit that goes down. So this wasn't clipped on when it was made. Probably because the heat shrink, if it was more like that, then the person would have probably pushed it on more. There you go, did you hear that click? There you go. Okay, and that is it. That is as simple as that.
So there we have it. Not all fixes are hard. That isn't staged, by the way. I've bought a load of items. You can see that this looks like it's barely been used. So again, it's probably in transit from the seller to the customer. Just probably worked its way loose. It probably did leave the factory working, but because it wasn't clipped into place, you didn't hear that click, it probably just worked its way loose. Or maybe even after the first go, maybe the vibration of the pump working knocked it off. But yeah, there we go. I don't think this has ever been apart before, and I don't think it's really been used before either. Anyway, let's put it back together and then go into the other room and I'll show you it steaming. All right, world's quickest fix. Let's turn it on. Let it heat up. Now we'll see if it's going to steam. I just want to see if it will do it when... No. So when it's not up to temperature, it won't do it. Imagine it might not actually be fixed. So there must be some thermostat thing inside that will only allow power through to the pump when it's warm enough, because maybe otherwise it would just squirt water out instead of steam. Right, you can hear the pump go in. Suppose it will take a while before it starts, actually, there you go. Take a while to fill up the tubes, you see. I don't think this has ever worked. There you go. Not even sure if you can see that. Can you see the steam coming out? Hopefully you can. And let's put it on fully. There we go. If you can't see it, you can definitely hear it. Better keep it away from the wallpaper, otherwise it will start peeling the wallpaper off. Right, let's go to eco mode and let's see if that does similar steam. Ah, yeah, it's just a little bit weaker, that's all. Well, there we go. And turn it off. A fix is to the fix.